Hiya, Joe. Where are you? That's meant to come in media. I'm here, ready and waiting. Oh, there you are, 88M, loving that. Blind land speed record of 150 miles per hour.
No way. Oh my God. Ain't no stopping us now.
Something that I never ever dreamt I would ever do.
Who have I got in the back seat?
Who have you got in the back seat?
Yeah.
Well, John Galloway from Speed of Sight.
Oh my goodness, have we got a lot of things to talk about today? So John, welcome to Beyond the Bio. Everyone sees the polished bio, but we want to go beyond that. Who are you? We'd love to know a little bit more about your background and your early career. Tell me about it.
Well, I hope this is a documentary series to start with. That's for sure. Boy,
Right.
my story goes back a long time. A boy from a certain era, the 60s. I'm a 60s baby. Born in London. And certainly, as far as I'm concerned, made here in the Northwest. Been here since I was 8.
Gosh.
And my story, I suppose, begins from the point of view of arriving in the northwest of England, immigrant parents from the West Indies and South America, both with very hard-working ethos. My mum and dad both had 2 jobs at a time, and they very much set, giving me, if you like, the understanding
Yeah.
that you work hard for a living,
Yeah.
and that, you know, the world doesn't owe you any favours. What I will say about my mother, and I'll come to that a little bit later in terms of what I do for a living, but my mother encountered a life-changing disability when she gave birth to me, and her disability was called Sehan syndrome, which basically is your pituitary gland, which is the driver of all glands in your body. Means that there's certain things that your body won't regulate, and that meant that she encountered a lot of illnesses, complex illnesses. She was on Sehan syndrome, being optimized and managed by a combination of steroids.
Right.
So that led to her eventually becoming a wheelchair user. So that was my first brush with disability growing up as a child.
Did you help look after her, John?
I did, but I wasn't her carer, to be fair. You know, my dad did an awful lot that he could when he was around. He was a night worker. She was still an independent lady, so she wasn't incapacitated. She could still move around and do things. It was only later on in life that she was permanently in a wheelchair. So even while she was having this diagnosis of a disability, she still had 2 jobs. You know, working in a care home as a cook, and then a couple of part-time jobs to do with cleaning jobs. And she just did everything that she could.
And this really has, obviously it's a big connection between what you're actually doing now with the Speed of Sight. And that, like you say, was your first experience. So how did Speed of Sight come about?
Well, I have to say, having this opportunity to do this podcast in this car is so aligned with what Speed of Sight is about. And my best friend and co-founder of Speed of Sight, he would love this.
Really?
So how this came about in terms of what Speed of Sight is, there's a gentleman called Mike Newman. I would say to anybody listening to this podcast that they should Google Mike Newman, blind racing driver, and they will be blown away with what they see.
Just a bit.
They will see, if they click on Google Images, that Mike has achieved 8 Guinness World Records for air, land and sea.
We'll talk about those speeds a bit later as well. We'll go into exactly what he's done.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
So that's, if you like, achievement of Mike becoming the fastest blind driver in the world. I was the guy behind the scenes. So of Mike's 8 Guinness World Records, I've personally been involved in the last 7 of those.
All right.
So I was the guy behind the scenes in terms of helping to negotiate cars, boats, aeroplanes, sponsorship, locations. So everything else that goes on behind planning these events. So me and Mike forged an amazing friendship, one of huge trust. And bearing in mind, I haven't told you, which I suppose isn't really necessary for this, but at that time, in the early noughties, that's how far back I'm going. Can't believe it, the early noughties. I had a business back then, which was web design and marketing. And Mike Newman was a full-time bank manager for Barclays Bank. And he was my business bank manager.
Another amazing connection story.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think one thing that goes through the backbone of everything that I do goes back to my mum and dad, is trust. And building alliances and friendships and people around you that you know is going to be there for you.
Yes.
And you can be there for them. And myself and like certainly achieved that. But it was because of those world records, and it was because of those profiles, that people with other disabilities would find me on Mike, and they would say, like you, unfortunately, Joanna, I've had a stroke. I'll never be able to drive my Maserati ever again.
Yes.
I've had a stroke. I'll never be able to drive my whatever car it is, or even a motorbike. You know, when you're hit with a stroke, which sadly actually happened to me, my dad had 2 major strokes later on in life. So we're now dealing with another disability in the house.
Yes.
Where my dad was completely heartbroken that he used to be able to have the independence of driving.
So frustrating.
And frustrating, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So other people, we're not just talking about stroke, we're talking about being blind, we're talking about people with epilepsy, people with Down syndrome, people with severe learning difficulties, and also very serious physical disabilities. Many of those people have been told they'll either never drive a car when they grow up because they were born with these disabilities, and the other disabilities, you can encounter these later on in life.
Yes.
So that means there are people out there who want to drive but can't.
And this is what Speed of Sight is all about, isn't it?
You know, it is exactly what we're about.
So you're giving these opportunities to these people.
Yeah, absolutely. These experiences, I've been doing it now for 14 years with Mike at Speed of Sight. And we're the only charity in the world that do what we do. And that's enabling children from age 7 to the oldest person so far, Neville. He was 102.
Oh my God.
And he was a blind veteran.
102.
The last time Neville drove a car was actually in World War II. In actual fact, his disability happened because he was driving a tank in the war and regrettably got blown up in the tank. Fortunately, he lived to tell the story, you know, but unfortunately for him, he encountered a brain injury, and that also led to him losing his sight. So the first time he got back behind the wheel of a real racing car on a real racing circuit was with us at Speed of Sight last summer.
That is amazing.
And
What's the story?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I bet it's emotional.
It's very emotional, but it's the best emotional
Right.
you could wish to have.
Yes.
We've got people who literally are the backbone of Speed Aside. We've got some incredible volunteers. And those volunteers make us who we are. They realise, and they've been volunteering. Joanna, I can't believe it. Some people have been volunteering for 10 years, 12 years, 8 years.
It's special, that's why.
It is special.
Yeah.
I don't want to be big-headed about it. It's only from a point of view, you're only as good as the people who you hang around with. You're only as good as the people that you work with.
We've heard this a few times today. Yeah, it's so true.
And I'm very lucky because the participants are everything that the charity lives for.
Yeah.
If we can put a bit of sunshine in your life and give you the opportunity to do something that the world has told you you'll never do, just imagine how that makes you feel when you do something like that.
Empowered. Confident for those minutes, maybe.
Absolutely.
Got a disability.
I could tell you 100 stories about people who've had these driving experiences. And
Well, we'll talk a few about a few a bit further down the chat, actually. So, just going back to Mike, am I right in saying that he achieved his first Guinness World Record at 2001, was it?
2000 was his first world
2000.
record, which was on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
A blind man with no vision.
What speed did he reach on that?
Just under 100 miles an hour. Actually, in practice, I think he achieved just under 110 miles an hour. But there was a slight mishap during the actual world record official run. So he managed to eventually get just under 100 miles an hour.
Did anyone actually ask him how he felt? Like, because the first thing I would think would be just total, like, be scared. Elated also, but just scared.
Well, I'm not the bravest person in the world, and I certainly would have been scared. But Mike Newman, he's one of these guys, and you'll find out as we go along, some of the things that he has done, every single one of his world records. Some people would have maybe asked him, which I've witnessed when he's been interviewed, why do you do these, or how do you feel?
Yes.
And the first thing that Mike makes clear is that I do these world records for him. He doesn't do it for acclaim. He doesn't do it because he wants people to watch him on television. He does this because growing up as a child, he had an ambition. He had an impossible dream. And that dream was to become a racing driver. And the motorbike thing for him was the first obvious choice.
Yes.
And yes, he's always understands that what he's doing is life-threatening and is dangerous. But he's also one of these that is very meticulous with attention to detail.
Because we're talking quite high speeds here. Like, I think was his last world record 120 miles per hour, is that right?
Oof, you're gonna be shocked when I tell you what his fastest world record is.
Oh, okay, I'm wrong.
So imagine this car we're driving along in right now.
Yeah.
Guinness rules stipulate that you have to be in the car alone. So there's no one else sat alongside you.
I was going to ask this.
Seriously, it is nuts. But it is so unbelievably impossible what he does next. So his first land speed record in a car was a Jaguar XJR, and this was in 2003. Imagine now being sat in that car alone.
No.
On a runway, and it's 1.9 miles long. And I know this because I've measured every inch prior to that date, doing all of the planning to make sure that it all goes according to plan. And now there's a car behind you, another car, where you've got your safety crew in that car. So you've got a test driver who sat in the driving seat of the car behind, and then in the passenger seat of the car behind, you've got Mike's navigator, who incidentally is also called Mike Newman.
Oh no!
That's his stepdad. And what a team. And Mike's job, Mike Senior, as I call him, in the chase car. His job is to navigate to his son in the front of the car, in the car in front. And he's telling him how much to go to the left, right, more power, brake.
So pure trust as well.
Pure trust.
Yeah.
And anybody who knows about driving, right, who would may be thinking, all he's doing is driving in a straight line. Well, I challenge anybody, well, please don't do this at home. But I challenge anybody, if you are in a safe environment, imagine taking your wheel off the car and letting the car drive straight. It just does not happen.
Yeah.
So that world record in 2003, you've got the world's media there, you've got ITV, you've got BBC, you've got Sky, you've got everyone there, including all of the main newspapers, and he set a new blindfold. There's a reason why it's called blindfold. A new blindfold/blind land speed record of 150 miles per hour.
No way. Oh my God.
And I was there to witness it. But I will say to you, watching Mike do that.
That is incredible.
It was the best thing that I've ever seen. It was the most humbling thing that I've ever seen. It was the most scariest thing.
Yeah, of course.
A car fly past you doing 150 miles an hour, and the man driving that car has no sight.
Wow.
But that moment changed my life. Because at that moment, I used to be the managing director, CEO of a web design marketing business that was doing very well for itself. And the reason why I helped Mike is that I recognized that using some of my daytime skills, using some of the skills of my company and my associates, we could turn him into a brand. We could produce him a website, and from a visual point of view, we could attract the press. And if we know we could attract the press, then we could attract the sponsors. So for me, it was almost like, even though I wasn't being paid, right? For me, it was almost like bragging rights for the business that I was involved in.
Of course.
Little was I to realise, well, Mike's just done this incredible land speed record that the world has now witnessed, and everyone is waiting for Mike to arrive back in a particular spot so the world media can interview him, so he can tell them about the experience and what's been done. And the press are there looking at me, because I'm the guy that's the press liaison, and I said, guys, through the walkie-talkies, I know exactly what Mike's done, I know the result, but rather than me explain to you the result, I want you all to turn around and look that way, and in a few moments, Mike will pull up in the car. Don't worry, he won't be going fast. He will pull up in front of you, and then he'll get out the car and you can all interview him. So all of the cameras turned around, and I walked in the opposite direction. I walked away, and my wife was there to witness this. I actually started crying. I could not believe.
What an achievement. What an amazing thing to do.
It was a bit, but Mike is amazing, and I love to see people achieve things. I'm for the underdog. My parents, the way we were together as a family, sadly I've lost them now, but you know, we do everything that we can to make ourselves proud of each other and be ambassadors for everything that we do.
Yeah, 100%. So you talked about the media. How important has that been for you to spread your awareness?
You know, media is everything, you know, and you can never have enough of it. And there is a saying that you can never have bad media. Now I wouldn't know that, because I'm very lucky that we've never had any bad media. Right? Mike started doing his world records in 2000. Right? And I've been proud to be the guy behind the scenes supporting him, working together as a team. And we've achieved an awful lot of publicity. And when the charity started 14 years ago, I was looking back only a few weeks ago before the start of our driving season. And you know something, there hasn't been one single year that Speed Aside, the charity, hasn't been on TV.
Really?
Whether it be ITV, BBC.
You've been on a lot of
I've been
programs.
on a lot of programs. We've done programs with Fifth Gear. We've done programs with Car SOS. We've had documentaries made. We've been on shows in America. And for a small charity, a charity that people may be listening to this today will probably say, I've never heard of Speed of Sight. And that's off the back of being on television every single year.
It's very important to have the awareness for any business, but particularly for charities.
Yeah.
Or without a doubt. So you were talking before about some of the people who have experienced these amazing racing days. So what impact do you think it has on them when they experience this? Is it life-changing?
It is very much life-changing, and I know that's often a phrase being used an awful lot right now.
Yeah.
But let me just put this in perspective. Let me tell you a story about a few people, but the first one I will start with. So at our charity, we provide driving experiences, not racing experiences. We provide driving experiences in real racing cars on real racing circuits.
Yeah.
So it looks phenomenal. Now imagine you're a young child and you are age 9, going on 10. You just started high school, literally. So you're 10 years of age. You just started high school, and literally all you live for is computer games and cars. You love cars. You also love watching Formula One. But because you have a certain disability, right, in most cases, the people whose disabilities we work with will never be able to hold a driver's license. That's what we pride ourselves about. So 10 years ago, we had a young boy called Harvey. Now, Harvey's disability is that he appears to have no legs. And he's such a beautiful human being. He is heavy in weights because obviously he can't exercise in the way that most people would. Right? And he never for one moment at the age of 10 thought that one day he would be able to drive a car conventionally. So his mom and dad did their very best to find something that he can do right now.
Yeah.
And at the age of 10, they found Speed of Sight.
Ah.
He had his first driving experience 10 years ago. Absolutely loved it. Right. And when we say people are driving, for anyone listening or watching this right now, our cars are specially adapted cars. So there's 2 steering wheels. They're completely automatic, so nobody has to worry about changing gears. For people who can't use their feet, so Harvey's one of those examples, there's hand controls on the car.
Gosh.
So he can accelerate and go faster and slow down and stop. Right? So he's capable of doing all of that and doing all of the steering. When he completed that driving experience 10 years ago, he had the biggest smile on his face. His mom and dad were elated for him. And I keep talking about our incredible volunteers. There were volunteers that were there that day that are still with us today. In fact, were with me yesterday on a training exercise. Right? So Harvey went home, and think about what this does to you as a child. Bullies can be awful. Children can be awful to each other. Harvey was so infused he couldn't wait to be back at school the following day to tell all of his peers and anybody that would listen that yesterday I was a racing driver, because he's got his Speed Aside certificate to say he was. He's got his interview with Speed Aside saying, Harvey, you've just done your Speed Aside experience. Tell me how that feels.
Oh.
He's got documentary proof that he has just done something pretty incredible. So when you're telling the bullies the story, how many children do you know that can actually drive a racing car at 10? So for him, it's the biggest bragging rights, and his self-confidence just grew and grew. So in the last 10 years, Harvey hasn't missed one single year. He has come back again.
Really?
In some cases, but he's come back so many times in 1 year that he's come to different events that we do across the country. So he doesn't just come to the one that's nearest to him, which you would think would be the case because of the nature of his disability.
Yes.
And what's involved in getting him from A to B. He's travelled England, all of England's events, Scotland, Wales, and he even travelled to the Isle of Man when we did an event there 2 years ago. So we had last summer something pretty epic happened for Speed Aside, because I keep saying that Speed Aside provides driving experiences for people who will never be able to hold a driver's license. That is what Speed Aside does. So imagine the moment Harvey decided to give his impossible a go. And he decided, you know what, I have loved doing this. I have grown up with this charity for 10 years. His mom and dad have supported us and they've been incredible. And Harvey decides, one of the instructors who's been helping him around the circuit for the last 10 years, because his daytime job is a driving instructor, he would ask Andy Bevan to become his personal driving instructor.
Oh.
And they sourced an everyday road car with all the necessary adaptations that he needs.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say, and I can't believe I'm not crying saying this, he actually passed his driving test last year.
No way. What?
So he drove to the circuit on a day that we're delivering our driving experiences to other people.
It's incredible.
And he drove, and some of us were aware that he was about to arrive. So I asked all of our volunteers and all of our participants with disabilities to turn around away from the circuit and look at the car park. And they were all wondering what they're waiting for. And then Harvey turned up in his car, driving his red Ford car, and pulled up in the car park.
I've got goosebumps.
The tears of joy, the elation, the pride, the happiness, the tears of happy emotion came out, and Harvey is now a fully licensed driver on the road.
That is unbelievable.
And what makes it even more unbelievable, you would think that he would not turn his back on Speed Aside. Well, I don't mean it in that way, but you would think that he no longer needs to experience what we do. And I'm extremely heartened by the fact that he still comes to our driving experiences to have his driving experience in our racing cars.
That's lovely.
So it's been 2 or 3 times last year.
That's really lovely.
And he's one of the first people to book on to our driving experience that we're delivering on the 30th of March this year. So if that isn't a description of being life-changing, I don't know what is.
Well, it absolutely is. And you know, it's such a special charity. So I want to know what was the hardest part really about setting it up and obviously running it. Did you have a lot of skeptics, or was everyone on board with it, or?
Absolutely. You see, what I've grown to realise is, and this is probably down to the fact that I'm dyslexic, and I only found out that I was dyslexic only about 10 years ago. It explains so many things of my childhood and growing up. So many things. But people with dyslexia find a way to do things.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily learn the same as everybody else. So I've had challenges in my life that I've had to overcome certain obstacles, and I had to do it in the conventional way. I would have failed miserably. But I've been able to succeed in near enough everything I've turned my hat to. So spared aside, when Mike Newman said to me, John, let's set up a driving experience for people with disabilities. Let's do it. I know we can do it. He designs the type of car that we need.
Yeah.
He understood exactly how we could make a driving experience for a person with a disability. Because if you remember, I said to you, Mike's driving history of his world records are all dangerous.
Yes.
They're all life-threatening because he's driving at unbelievable speeds. And those cars are normal cars. They haven't been adapted in any particular way.
Okay.
With speed of sight cars, everything that we do is about being safe. Right, so our cars have the dual controls that a normal driving instructor's car would have. So that's brakes and pedals on both sides of the car. Their cars have the one steering wheel.
Right.
Speed of sight cars have two steering wheels. So there's no passenger seats. Right. And the person who was instructing, for example, that Joanna, you imagine now being blindfolded, right, and your co-pilot is sat in the car with you, and they're helping to steer. So when you steer left or right, your steering wheel moves left or right.
Yeah.
When you touch the brake on the other side is being touched by the instructor. And you are being guided through an earpiece, right? So you're both wearing crash helmets and you can both hear one another. Right? So we make sure, which is why we always stress we provide a driving experience, not a racing experience, but we will provide a driving experience in a gorgeous looking racing car. And it doesn't matter whether you have a disability or not. When you look at our racing cars, you want to get in that car.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then you add in the fact that you're on a racing circuit and you're about to drive that car. But you asked me a question, and the question was, what are the challenges that you face?
Yes.
So when we designed our first car, it was always our intention, which we thought would be easy, is to knock on the door of a racing circuit and say, look, we're Speed of Sight. We've just devised this initiative for blind and disabled people to drive cars. Now imagine us having that conversation 14 years ago. And bearing in mind, there's no one else in the world doing what we do. So you are the venue owner. And I phone you up, Joanna. I go, Joanna, your venue is amazing and we would love to be able to come there just for one day and to operate our Speed of Sight driving experience for blind and disabled people.
Yeah.
If I say it now,
Yeah. I know where you're coming from.
the doors close.
Yeah.
Nobody, no racing circuits 14 years ago would even consider us doing what we do. So here's the thing. We've set the charity up. We've got the cars, but we've got nowhere to drive the cars.
Yeah.
Because all of them are thinking safety first, and they've never heard of Speed of Sight. We've got no background, we've got no history other than Mike Newman doing his multiple Guinness World Records. And we went away thinking, well, what are we gonna do? We can't do this.
No.
So we came up between us and said, okay, plan B. We need a car park. We need a big enough car park that we can lay cones down and mimic the variations, the bends of a racing circuit, but we'll just use cones. And that's how we got started.
Bravo.
And you know what? Our very first driving experience, right, was actually Man City's Overspill car park, which was managed by Manchester City Council. And yes, we had to pay a very modest fee, but we had to pay a fee to use their venue.
Okay.
On that very first day, we only had a small handful of people that came because we'd never traded before.
No.
But nevertheless, that small handful of people, and I have it on camera today, and it still makes me realize that Speed Aside touches every single person.
Yes.
Imagine an elderly gentleman, aged 89. He was blind, and he turned up quite overweight, but he's 89, right? So he's enjoying life, and he's got a guide dog, and his guide dog, which was also overweight, I will say. He attended there with his wife, and this guy is called Arthur. Right. Back then, right, we weren't a slick machine. It was our very first driving experience on a car park. So Arthur has his 20-minute driving experience. And Mike Newman, to this day, is the person that will get you seated when you turn up at Speed Aside driving experience. Mike's role is to be there at the driving seat of all of our racing cars, and when someone is brought to him in the pit area to receive their driving experience, he is the person that seats them into the car. He is the person that uses the 4-point harness, the seat belts, to make sure that a person is safely tightened in. He is the person that will put the helmet and the balaclava on. He is the person that will give all of the instructions to the person who's about to receive their driving experience. So he did this for Arthur. So you've now got two blind men. You got Mike Newman, our Mike Newman, getting another blind guy into the car, Arthur.
Yeah.
Arthur has his driving experience, pulls up to a stop. He gets out the car. Mike helps to get out the car, so he's stood next to Mike. And before I could say anything, which is, you just had your Speed Aside experience, Arthur burst into tears.
Aww.
He's literally crying, and he's saying the following: I haven't driven for 14 years. I used to be a haulage driver, and I lost my sight overnight. Overnight, right? He was doing something in the back of the wagon, right? The wagon door banged on his head, right? He hurt, but he just felt, you know what? I'll brush myself off. I've got a little bit of a headache. I'll be fine. And he went home that evening, 14 years before the Speed Aside experience, and he woke up the following morning blind.
That is absolutely awful. What a shock.
So he was so elated to be able to do an activity that he missed so much.
Amazing.
And he was in tears flowing from his head. And I realized there and then, me and Mike realized, along with our volunteers, we don't care whether we're in a racing circle or not.
No.
That person, right, we've delivered what he wanted.
It's totally special.
But then there was a game changer that was to change the future of Speed Aside. And it goes back to the press. Remember I said to you there hasn't been a year that we've not been on TV.
Yeah.
Right, so about 2 years later, so we've been going 2 years, we were trying to get a better venue that was more fit for purpose. And we ended up, have you heard of the Trafford Centre?
Yes.
So we got talking to the Trafford Centre management, and they have huge car parks.
They do.
Unfortunately, they're public car parks.
Yes.
But they are huge car parks, not always being used during the week. Certainly not 100% capacity. So we would negotiated and asked them, would you entertain us at your car park once a month, every month? And they went, you're dangerous. So we've been doing it for 2 years. Like, we just need a big car park. And so they made us jump through hoops.
Really?
We had to do risk assessments, we had to do method statements. Because if you think about it, you've got a public car park where you could have the general public even children walking across that car park.
Yes.
And we've got speed of sight cars being driven by blind and disabled people. That's potentially a very hefty risk.
Well, absolutely. Insurance-wise as well.
Absolutely.
You know, so these people are going to be very cautious.
Absolutely. They were very cautious. But that cautiousness changed the whole future of the charity. Because yes, we had to jump through hoops. Yes, it took us probably about 8 to 12 months to get it over the line. And yes, we had to increase our public liability insurance 5 times more.
I can only imagine.
Business.
Yeah, I can imagine
I
that.
think it was something like £50 million insurance that we had to have to be able to operate and to make sure that we could police the perimeter and make sure that nobody was at risk.
Yes.
So after that being televised a number of times on television, Speed of Sight's experience are going from strength to strength. More people's lives are being changed. We're in the news. So we've now been trading 3 or 4 years. So we decide, you know what, we're going to go back and we're going to knock on the doors of these racing circuits.
Wicked.
Because what we've now done proves, right, that on a public car park, right, we've marshalled it, we have policed it, we have delivered a few hundred driving experiences safely. The press love us.
Yeah.
Imagine what we can do if we actually have a real racing circuit. And I'm proud to say, the last 10 years, we don't go to car parks. We go to racing circuits throughout the UK.
Really?
And on our 10th anniversary, Joanna, I've got to say to you, it was a dream come true. I would imagine you've heard of Silverstone.
Yes.
Silverstone is the mecca. It's the place for Formula One's Grand Prix. It is right up there. And Speed of Sight hosted an exclusive event with all of our racing cars there to celebrate our 10th anniversary. And the media turned up. ITV turned up, BBC turned up, NBC News, America turned up. Lewis Hamilton's brother, Nick Hamilton, turned up. And just all of the volunteers who have been with us right from the beginning, when we were only going to car parks, realized because of their efforts.
Yeah.
And the sponsors, we have to shout out by the sponsors, because you have to remember, we're a charity.
Yes.
Where does the money come from to do what we do? We don't get any government grants. Right? So in all of our 14 years, 99% of our income comes from the business community.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Right? And so our sponsors came to that day, and our sponsors come to many of our days because they sponsor individual track days.
Who are your sponsors, John?
So our sponsors very much vary. We've got in the region of about 145 to 150 businesses that partner with Speed of Sight. I'm known for doing a lot of networking, and I'm proud to say I've been in the networking circuit for as many years as Speed of Sight's been doing what it does.
And you come to ours, of course, to the brunch club.
Absolutely, I'm very proud to be a member of the Cheshire Club. It's absolutely exciting, and I love the way you guys are operating in your ethos and all of the things you're bringing to the table. Because the way that we operate when we go networking, we are loyal to the groups that we're in.
Yeah.
So we're not hopping about. We've made long-term relationships to this day with other groups that I'm involved in, that have been involved for 10 years. There's another one I've been involved in for 8 years.
It's the only way. It's the only way. To build proper, lasting, meaningful relationships.
Absolutely. So we don't hop around. We make our home with that networking.
Yes.
So they become our family. They become part of our community. We become part of their community, right? And we play fair and square because you only live life once. I remember when I said to you, my very earliest words was about trust
Yes.
and loyalty. You know, myself and Mike Newman, I was his customer. He was my manager for 10 years before we'd even set up a business together or a charity together.
And trust is built on building relationships.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So our sponsors, many of them come from the networking circuits. So there'll be businesses that you haven't necessarily heard of, but they have come from so much of a varied background.
Yeah.
And they are a mixture of SMEs, some micro businesses, some smaller SMEs, to much larger SMEs with hundreds of employees. But we also have a corporate program where we have corporates, so blue chip type companies who have bigger budgets, right? And we get them to partner with us on track days. And by partnering with us on track days, their logos are front and center of all of our cars,
Okay.
and all of our racing circuits, no matter where we are throughout the season. Their logos are the biggest logos on our website. They are the ones where we create individual press release opportunities. For them, it's amazing employee engagement.
Of course.
But
And supporting such an
support is
amazing cause.
pretty special. So, in no particular order, I want to shout out about so many of them. Sigma Capital Group. They have been incredible for us. They've been very special. Not only the reason why I'm singling them out, not that all of the other companies are just as important, because they are, but Sigma, not only have they come on board for the last 5 years in becoming one of our biggest commercial partners, but they've also personally invested in the development and adding newer cars, brand new track cars, with all of the bells and whistles and all of the special up-to-date equipment that we need. They personally helped to fund our new racing cars.
That's special. Yeah.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, it is.
But then we've got other brands that you may have heard of. Auto Trader.
All right.
Auto Trader, again, them. Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Mistoria Estate Group. Courts O'Hara Insurance. Courts O'Hara Insurance. Remember, what we do is very dangerous.
Yeah.
And remember, what we do for insurance is very expensive. And Courts O'Hara have been with us for 10 years. And they pay a big proportion of what it costs to insure Speed of Sight. So
a lot of money.
So our insurance company is one of our longest standing sponsors. Auto Trader, and obviously Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and Pistoria, and so many other of our other sponsors. They actually, so Auto Trader alone, I've had over 200 volunteers that come to our events. So not only have they, as a company, said, you know what, we like what your business does, we like what the charity stands for. Yes, we will give you some money to help the wheels of the charity work. Yes, we're happy to be corporate partners, but what we love about Speed of Sight is what you actually do. And it's a perfect opportunity for our employees to actually come and volunteer for you and be part of the team.
That's even better, isn't it?
It's huge.
Yeah.
200 people have volunteered, and they are one of our biggest advocates, and they do other things for us in the same way Sigma's invested in cars, right? Auto Trader have gone out of their way to do other initiatives and continue to do so to help to support the charity.
Unbelievable.
So we've got a mixture of big businesses and a massive collection of about 130 smaller type businesses who all partner with the charity through what we call our Inspire program. It's our Inspire Club,
Oh, I like that.
right? And how that came about was, I wish I came up with the idea 10 years ago or 14 years ago. But I'm so proud to have come up with what it actually stands for today.
Okay.
The Inspire Club, think about it, when you go networking and there's charities, it's very difficult to understand how you can support a charity other than make the normal donations you would normally make.
Yes.
But motorsports is expensive, you know. Of course, every single penny counts. But it is expensive. We're going up and down the country to multiple events. We've got volunteers that are traveling with us throughout the UK. And when we do a one-day event, it's not a one-day event for the volunteer. They're traveling to that event the day before.
Yes. You don't think about all this, do you?
We travel as a huge racing team with all of our trailers and our cars the day before the event, so we need somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
We then do the day of the event, and then we have to stay for health and safety because our event doesn't finish till 5 o'clock at night. We could be in London. So we're not going to drive back from London after doing 8-9 hours of hard graft.
No.
So we're going to stay another night. So there's huge costs involved in these driving days.
Yes.
Right. So the Inspire Club is this. We have come up with an initiative where companies can invest as little as £25 a month, which is £300 for the year, and they are added to our website with their logo, a description of what their business does, right, and a backlink. But that association with the charity shows that they're involved in what we do, and they are, you know, inspiration doesn't pay the bills.
No.
So the charity's outcome might be really inspirational, but what is the real inspiration are the businesses that have faith in us. And it's them that I credit as being inspirational, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
I absolutely love that.
Last year, 307 people with serious disabilities had a life-changing driving experience. Money can't buy that.
So, John, I asked you to pick a song that was special to you. Can you tell me what it's called and also why?
This song, I've chosen it because it goes back to my childhood, and it really, really stands for everything that I am about, my family and life in general, and my approach to every day. And it's called Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
I think that's just fantastic for the charity even. You know, it all fits in, doesn't it?
It does.
And also your taxi hat.
My taxi hat. Now, for everybody watching this, I don't do hats.
But it does suit.
I was.
It's so.
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
So, what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to this song. And if you fancy a little boogie and a little song, let's do it. Oh, it's a fantastic song, then.
It's beautiful. Puts a smile on my face and makes my hairs on the back of my head.
Oh no! No stopping us now. We got the music moving. You got to stop us now. We got the. It just always is so happy. It's like. It's like. Moving. Said you couldn't sing.
Oh no, and I'm sober. Even completely born sober.
And I'm sort of a bit puzzled as to what you've got in your hand there, John. What's going on? That microphone.
Now, I would like to say this is an actual microphone, but actually it isn't. It's from University Salford, Manchester, and it contains something that I never ever dreamt I would ever receive.
Okay.
Leaving school with no qualifications, with dyslexia that I didn't know I had at the time, but it explained why I had no qualifications. And in 2024, I got the highest degree as a honorary fellowship of the university. I could not believe it. An honorary fellowship.
Oh my God.
And my mum and dad were there to see it, but they would have been
So proud.
immensely proud.
Oh, so proud, John.
But I owe this to my family, my personal family, and my Speederside family. And everybody has said, well, I was fortunate to work with. And yeah.
And you've used it as a microphone as well, so there we
I
are.
know, so amazing.
So, when people read the bio, they see the records, these amazing achievements. What do you hope the story of Speed of Sight really says?
I think Speederside is a story of real life inspiration. A celebration of what it really is to live in a world of inclusivity.
Yeah.
We turn no one away. It doesn't matter what your background is. I've told stories about boys and men, but I haven't told you stories about ladies, and I could tell you equally as many. Right? Saskia, who has cerebral palsy, she's in her 50s. Right? Saskia loves motorsports but will never be able to drive a car because of the nature of her cerebral palsy. And last year, she received her 25th driving experience because of our drivers. It's a celebration of people who want to make a difference. You know, our volunteers are incredible. Our sponsors that are involved in the charity stick with us. Our sponsors don't hurt. In the main, when they join us, they stay. And the only reason why they may change is because there's been a change in personnel. You have the new person coming in might have their own ideas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I promise you, it is such an amazing community.
It sounds it, you know. So we're going to do a quick fire round now. So if you could describe Speed of Sight in just 3 words, what would it be? What would they be?
Ooh. I'd like to use the words that I ask people when I interview them when they've had their Speed of Sight driving experience.
Okay.
Right, so you just had your Speed of Sight driving experience, what it was like. And the words that come are amazing. And again, I know these are words that are often used a lot.
It is very true.
When someone speaks about it with real heart and emotion, you know they mean it. I would also like to say, life-changing. And again, it's said too much. But when someone you know has got a life-changing disability, or even terminal illnesses, I haven't told you that we deal with people with terminal illnesses. And they will tell us that they feel free.
Oh gosh.
You know, and it's just these amazing one words that people use that's being repeated to us all of the time. But you know another powerful one? When we ask you, you just had your Speed of Sight experience, how does that feel? And they can't find a word.
Oh, speechless.
They are speechless.
Yeah.
And I know they're speechless because there's one of the people that have been coming to our experiences for 10 years. And I first asked him 10 years ago, what was your Speed of Sight experience like? And he couldn't find the words.
I can understand that. I mean, obviously I've not experienced that, but when the way that you've explained it, and the disabilities that people face, and then they get this most incredible opportunity, you know.
I never imagined, that's one thing that I never planned. Myself and Mike knew that it would be successful, where people would want to come and have their driving experience. We knew that was going to be successful based on Mike Newman's own achievements and what driving meant to him. But we never imagined we thought it would be a tick box exercise. Okay, I've done it now. It's been a great experience.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So many people come back again and again. And as I've attested, I've given you a few examples of people coming for the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah, that's incredible, actually, you know, for them to keep coming back like that.
And the other thing people do say about us is that, of course, the driving experiences are amazing. But how many times do you say amazing when you're being interviewed and you've done 25 driving experiences? You probably won't use that word anymore.
Yeah.
But using Saskia as an example, she was asked her last driving experience, why do you come to do this? And she says, it's because it's my family. It's a community. I come here to do the driving. I love the driving. But you are all my friends.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really, really special. And if anyone's listening today and thinking about getting involved, what would you like to say to them?
I'm going to take this hat off now.
I never last wondered, actually, you don't like hats and you've got it on.
I need to be very serious now.
Yes.
So if you are a business and you are aware of what CSR, corporate social responsibility, or you're a business and you're involved and you understand the involvement of ESG, environmental social governance, then look no further. Speed Aside deliver real life social impact.
Yes.
Right. We no longer, or you no longer, have to look at just a tick box exercise. By supporting Speed of Sight, you are supporting and celebrating diversity, inclusion, equality, and you are changing people's lives. Right. And there's, in my opinion, if you only help to change one person's life, just one, then you've changed the world.
Totally agree.
We've changed it over 5,000 times.
Yeah. And where can they find you on socials, John?
So socials, Facebook. So charity has its own Speed of Sight charity page.
Yeah.
The same goes for LinkedIn. We're doing a lot on LinkedIn, Speed of Sight charity. And also our website, speedofsight.org. And of course, you can find us on the other popular ones, TikTok and Instagram.
Oh, you're on TikTok, so you do all the racing videos on there, do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We did a fantastic library of footage and photography, in particularly on our Facebook page.
Okay, that's really great.
And I would reach out to anybody. If you just want to have a chat with me or Mike, we would be delighted to talk with you and work out how we could work with you.
That's absolutely brilliant. So the bio gives us the headline, but the real stories of courage, determination, and the people behind it goes way beyond the bio. John, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Joanna, it has been immense. I've loved this.
And you've sung, and you've...
Oh no, I can't believe, and I never sing, and I never wear hats. You've done that to me. Look what you've done. Amazing. Wow.
I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been good.
You, the Cheshire Club, what you're doing is truly amazing, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.